It was just 4 years ago that the Plaza of Honor was dedicated. I can't believe that. It just seems like it was maybe a year ago. The installation of the kiosk represents the completion of the first phase, which had as its goal to build the plaza and the kiosk and establish an endowed scholarship for women's studies. We are here today to celebrate that phase 1 is complete. That deserves applause. Now there is a phase 2 in which the Department of Women's Studies and the Women's Studies Advisory Council, known as WOSAC, will continue to promote the various ways women can be honored in the plaza. So you still have opportunities. You can honor women in the second phase with benches or bricks, trees, lights, and they will be exploring new ways to utilize and expand the plaza. Thank you.
I was talking with some of the originators of the idea. They told me that it was 9 years ago this month when they sat down and the seed was planted in fertile ground. It germinated. You can see what's come of this creativity, and equally importantly, what's come of their persistence. I think it's so important for all of us to remember the history of how we got here. Certainly, the University of Arizona, like all institutions, whether they're here in Arizona, around the nation, or around the world, is taking a very hard look at its priorities right now. And in doing so, we must refer to our history. This plaza, perhaps more than any other space on our campus, reminds us of who we are, of how we got here, and how individual women or groups of women contributed hard work, hope, I'm sure some prayers as well, to realize their vision of building this great university.
As I look down from here, it's quite fascinating because I see my mother's name on a brick, not on a leaf. And it is really an honor and a privilege to know that she is here in this incredibly, incredibly beautiful place. Because many of us remember it many years ago as a small alley, and it has now truly blossomed. And I feel both proud and honored that her name is here forever. But I also feel honored that when I had her name put here, I was helping the best women's studies department in the country.
It's a great honor for me to be here. And before I went down to sit under that tree to be nervous, I went to visit my mother's leaf. Because 4 years ago, when they first had the concept of the Women's Plaza of Honor, my sister Elena, who is here, and my brother Alfredo, and I bought a leaf for my mother, a tile leaf. And it was a bit of an expense for us. We each donated $250 apiece to dedicate this to our beloved mother. But when it all was done and I came to the dedication, I went to see the leaf and it looked very small. Because I thought my mother should have a very big leaf, and she only had a tiny leaf. And so therefore I said to my mother, "Lo siento, mamá, I'm sorry. No le hace, mijita, it doesn't matter. It is not the leaf that counts. It is the tree and the branches."
In 25 years of reporting for the Star, I've been privileged to meet many remarkable women. Some flew planes during World War II. One, Virginia Mittendorf, was the first woman on Tucson TV, holding down an afternoon show for 11 years here, decades before Oprah.
In closing, I want to quote Betsy Boulding, President of the Women's Studies Advisory Council, an exceptional volunteer for this project and one of the founding members of the Plaza Committee. In this issue of Ms. Magazine, which is hitting the newsstands this week, you have to look for Betsy Boulding. And you have to look for the Plaza of Honor. Betsy talks about why it's important to her to donate to a project like this. She says, "My support for women's studies reflects my passion to assure that my granddaughters celebrate women's accomplishments and realize that their opportunities are limitless. Frankly, it's an investment as good as stocks and bonds today."